Hello friends and followers. Here's a beautiful Drake R4A that I spent about a day restoring, and it came out really nice. On this one, I took out the long band shaft back to the passband tuning and had to re-grease the passband tuning box in the back. Cleaned the shaft all off, greased it all up, made sure it worked fine, and made sure the passband tuning was tuned correctly. I also serviced the PTO here, VFO PTO. This had some binding in it, so I took this all apart, cleaned it all up, and the worm gear inside, I cleaned all that up, cleaned up the lens, cleaned up the little decorative wheel here, and I put some of the proper Drake translucent filter paper back in there to make the light come fine through there like it does, and put an LED back in there with white light, so it looks real nice. Also used the XYL's nail polish and polished up this little slider knob, and this has all been taken apart, and the proper synthetic grease is behind this thing, so you can very easily navigate this little window now back and forth. Whoa, there we go. Navigate this window back and forth. So yes, the XYL's nail polish has been applied here. Make that look nice, and you can now move this little window very easily with no binding. I added a little jumper plug in the back, RCA plug, so this will work on all these positions here. The dial has also been calibrated, as has the crystal calibrator. The crystal calibrator has been calibrated now at 10 megahertz on WWV, and this dial is spot on. So when you buy one of these R4As or R4Bs or R4Cs, Drake really spent time making this PTO mechanism track, because this is an analog mechanism with a slug, a big slug that goes through a coil, and so they went to great pains to make that thing track exactly. So sure enough, you can turn to calibrate here and you'll see it'll calibrate exactly on an even frequency here. That's 40 meters. So that's pretty cool. When you buy one of these, you want to make sure it is calibrated, and you want to make sure that it lines up exactly on all these different areas. This one's really good. The other problem is the crystals that control these bands can drift. So even though this is all lined up nice, these crystals that are used to do the offsets in this thing can drift. This one, the crystals are perfect. So again, I can go to 80 meters here, and you'll see that my calibrator's on, and the thing's right smack on. So that's what you want to look for in one of these, that it is working properly. And we can try that on 20 meters here. That's a little off, but you can just tweak it like this. That's what it's meant to do. You slide the dial, and now it should track at 0 at every calibration point, which it does. A little off there, but pretty impressive. That's 20 meters. Let's try 15 meters. Right smack on. That's impressive. At least I'm impressed. And you want this PTO knob to be able to be tuned easily. You don't want to be struggling with it, and this one is I have it working like perfectly. So that's what you want in one of these radios. Let's try a 10 meter calibration here. I also tuned up the 10 meter band so it's sensitive, and works pretty good. This thing starts at 28.5, so people tend to talk around 20, what is it, 28.420. So you can hear people sometimes if you tune down below the band. Let's see. Peak it up in LSB. Let's see if we can hear. Oh, let's go to USB. There we go. Calibrate off. Don't hear anybody. Here's somebody, barely. Barely. So, don't think 10 meters is open. What about 20 meters? That should be open a little bit here. It's about 2 in the afternoon. First, you want to look for FT8. There's FT8 right there. If you hear those, you'll probably hear somebody else. There's somebody there. For CW, you can really dial this thing down for a good bandwidth, so you can take the bandwidth down like that. This was quite a good CW receiver in 1964 anyway. Sounds like some Spanish going on there. Not much else to hear. It just depends when you're on this thing, I suppose. Somebody tuning up. So you can play games with the bandwidth and take the bandwidth down and hear weak stations on these, which is pretty cool. That's pretty good. Anyway. Let's go to 40 now. There's 40 meters right there. LSB, yes. We're kind of not in a good time to listen to 40 because the nets are over and no one's really talking. It's about 2 p.m. So no one's talking on 40. Someone's tuning, but no one's talking. Anyway, it's really cool that you can tune so fast on this thing. If you want to see who's on, it's... There's somebody.
It's sitting on top of a shed, which is a 10-foot shed.
Anyway, what else do you want to look for in these radios? Well, the passband has to be calibrated correctly, and let me show you how that works. So if you were to tune somewhere where nobody's transmitting and go to 4.8, this passband won't make too much difference on a wide filter. But right about there is where it should change. Where the two dots are, the dots. So that should be upper, 0, and lower. If you go to 2.4, it'll rise, trough, rise. That's how it should work exactly, right? So you look for one of these, it better work like this. And it better be linear across. That hiss, noise, the timbre should be the same timbre as about there. It's pretty close. This might need a slight adjustment, but it's darn close. So that's how to check that. What else? Stand by, it'll pin the meter. That's like a mute. The crystals, if this had crystals, you could offset them, but they're not in here. Band select, as you've seen. You can also check the ABC function. That seems a little loose. When you go to fast, the meter will go fast on the sideband. You'll see it go with the voice. And ABC off. Loud and distorted. People sometimes run it with less RF gain with ABC off. But for the best sideband, you want to run it in slow ABC. So that's about that. We can try 20. See what else did I explain? The notch control. That would be used like in CW or in sideband when you have stations very close. I don't think there's enough CW on here to show you how that works, but let's see if we can do that. So 20 meter band, 20 meter band. Let's find some CW down here. I could probably notch out some FT8 and show how that works. Let's try that. All right, notch it. You should hear some of these disappear, which they do. That's how your notch works. Get rid of that low one, see? Go on. Hear the upper ones? So actually FT8's a pretty good demo. Of notch. All right, and then there's AM. Sometimes there's AM guys on 40 meters, but I don't think they're around a whole lot. Let's see. They're up around here. AM guys are about there. Don't hear them. All right, that's my demo on this R4A. It's a very nice radio. It's also a very clean radio. The case is really nice on it. Doesn't have any dents or dings or blems. It's a very clean radio. So, up for your consideration. And yeah, when you look at these, you also want to make sure this little slider slides very easily, and this one does. It's all been redone. Make sure you can just basically turn the ring with your finger like this. Hold this knob straight and turn the ring like that, because you'll need to do that. Make sure that works right for calibration. And you're all set. So these are 1kc intervals here, and you can tune this thing up, calibrate it, go into calibration mode here. Make sure you're at 0 here, like that, and then it will tune accurately with the dial here. It's pretty cool. There's 5, 10, 15. When you hit 25, it'll usually be right smack on. Let's see if I go back to 0 here. Get this thing lined up exactly with that marker. Every 25, you'll see that it'll hit the number exactly. Full rotations 25, and it hits the numbers exactly. So it's a nice radio. These are quite a marvel for 1964. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.